Hey data fans, Reed here. So today I'm going to walk through a helper guide and a bit of a flowchart that I've made to walk people through certain concepts. Now, the one that I'm going to start with in this is comparing field parameters with calculation groups, but I've decided I wanted to make a series of web pages and guides as I've been doing more website development for our business with Steve Campbell and myself for Analytic Endeavors. I found that it's quite useful to have a scrollable interactive web page that can explain certain concepts in Power BI or Fabric. And I think a good starting point for this is often comparing field parameters and calculation groups, because I think those two can sometimes have a bit of overlap and also be confusing on when to use what and where. So with that being said, let's hop into the web page and get started. So as I mentioned, I started to build out a lot of web design, and actually a lot of the inspiration that I've had for like visual design recently has somewhat escaped Power BI and gone on free reign a little bit with web design. So for those of you who've seen my website, you've probably seen some of the really cool pages that I built around our homepage and a few others, and I've really enjoyed making these informative infographic charts, essentially. And this one will walk us through field parameters versus calculation groups. So let's go ahead and scroll down and explore and talk about the subjects a little bit. And the TLDR here that we see at the top of what the difference is, the branching between the two of them. So field parameters globally will really let users choose what to see. So that's going to be fields like measures or columns inside of a visual as indicated there, where calculation groups choose how measures calculate. It's adding, removing, or modifying filters in some capacity commonly. Now let's look a little bit at how they work as well. Scrolling down, over here on the left, I have a little interactive chart that actually lets you switch measures. So in this case, there could be a field parameter you have in Power BI that lets you switch between sales, revenue, and units sold. Now you could also switch the axis of the chart as well, such as region, category, or channel. So obviously more complicated ways to potentially utilize these, but as a basic concept, this is essentially showing you what its core fundamental design is to do for a field parameter. Now coming over to the calculation group here, what we have is ways where we can, in this case, select a time calculation. So show me my values year to date, show me the same value recalculating with month to date, the prior year, or a year over year calculation. Again, more things that can be done, but at a basic fundamental level, it's letting you choose the type of calculation logic versus the display to see with those. Now, continuing on to this journey a little bit as well, coming down to common use cases. So let's again take a look at each in turn. So for field parameters, some good common use cases can be a dynamic measure selection, whether or not you will maybe want to do some axis switching as well, often with the X or Y axis to change between categories, report consolidation. So you can actually sometimes consolidate different pages into a single unified page with a field parameter as well to reduce the number of unique pages you might have in a report. And it can also be really good to have KPI dashboards where you have a metric selection that changes all the KPI cards as well. So it's really good for, again, display and consolidation for calculation group use cases. So time intelligence that we just saw is a common one. Another pretty common one can be currency conversion as well. Variance analysis to be able to actually have declared calculation groups to do divisions between values, and reducing measure proliferation as well. So common patterns such as the year-to-dates, time is a really common one, where you might have dozens of measures that are identical except for a repeating pattern. Those are great uses for calculation groups. And some of you already might be asking, well, what about UDFs, user-defined functions that are in DAX? I will get to a blog post and an infographic like this later on, but for now, just going to focus on these two since that's a bit outside of the scope of this video. Coming down to key differences now and talking about that a little bit. So this breaks down pretty much everything between the two of them, what it changes, again, what field or measure is displayed for a field parameter, and then calculation groups are how the measure is calculated. Now, with field parameters, you can create them in Power BI Desktop natively, and that's the only place, for the most part, using a UI that you can create them. Yes, technically, you can make them in Tabular Editor, but you'd have to know how to write the code for the most part and edit the specific spots in the Tyndall code, so it's not really meant to make field parameters. Now, with calculation groups, that can be made in both fairly easily. underlying structure. So it's a DAX disconnected table with field references. Calculation groups also are a generated table that will leverage and modify the selected measure, which is just any measure that it's pointing to. The scope of the impact generally for field parameters is going to be at the visual level for the most part, or calculation level. And this means that can be at the visual, that can be at the page, that can be at the report. So you can actually have a lot of versatility in the levels that you can apply a calculation group. Learning curve, I'd say field parameters is the easiest. It's the most common thing that I see used. It is used more often these days than calculation groups. I'll put calculation groups themselves probably in the moderate category with that. And some typical patterns that you might see as well for field parameters. If you were to look at the DAX generated code in a field parameter table, it would often have a friendly name, the original measure it's pointing to, and whatever the order or sort column is for the indexing that it has. And then a common calculation group pattern, calculate, again, selected measure is going to be referenced to point to whatever measure that is in the context of its application for filters, and then some modification generally in there. Field parameter tables can have field parameter tables can have relationships. It's actually a great way to sync them, as you might have seen in one of my YouTube videos. You cannot do that with a calculation group. You will get a model error if you attempt to do that. And now a few remaining things does not work in Excel pivot tables or in Analyze in Excel for field parameters. However, calculation groups do. So little key differences between those there, and important depending on your goal and how much Analyze in Excel is used for your organization. Continuing down to a bit of requirements and limitations. Let me scroll that to a good spot here. There we are. So field parameter, we'll need Power BI desktop, and not really any special configuration needed for that. Calculation groups will require discouraging implicit measures to be turned on, meaning you cannot use native columns in an aggregate. So only calculations can be used specifically as a requirement because calc groups can't work with those. So it would get an error if you tried to pair a calculation group with a native column aggregation. So that's why it enforces this as a best practice. And it does require some understanding of selected measures, and Tabular Editor is still the best tool for making edits for this, just because it's a bit more versatile than the native one. We've already talked about the limitations a little bit. I'll mention a couple key ones here. So field parameters breaks in the composite model. So if you have a live report connected to your core model, perfectly fine. But if you turn that live model into a composite, the core model field parameters stop working. It is a limitation I'm assuming will go away potentially some way. This is still a relatively new product in the overall lifespan of Power BI, but as of today, that is a limitation. So I wanted to mention that here. And again, the big one in calculation groups is the fact that relationships cannot be used. There's a few other considerations in here, but that's more contextual to specific scenarios. So I'm not going to go through every one in turn. And we've already somewhat talked about the advantages, but this gives you a nice little rundown in here, the do's and don'ts between the two of them. Now, moving on to performance implications, I would say that field parameters overall have very little overhead. It requires a bit of extra processing at the report layer to be able to choose between the columns, but what's fed back to the engine is essentially a simple query. So very little overhead in terms of DAX or performance. Calculation groups, however, since they're adding, removing, or modifying filters, can either be really fast or slow depending on how good you are at writing the DAX. So more complexity and considerations when using a calculation group over a field parameter. A couple of things in here, some performance tips to mention. So you can use is selected measure to maybe limit the scope of which parameter, and some performance tips down. And for some performance tips as well, let's go through a few of these. So avoid using nested calculation groups that can start getting messy and slow if you layer them too many times. Is selected measure is a really nice way to filter out certain measures you don't want the calculation group to apply to. So you can limit its scope for certain measure names and some other stuff. They actually work really well together, as we'll see. Testing with DAX Studio is always a good idea. Keeping the calculation items as simple as possible. The more complicated it gets, the slower it can potentially be. And just be careful with minimizing filter context changes. Now, quick decision guide. Nice little way to actually figure out kind of when to use one versus the other, but this gives you a bit of a cheat sheet in case you're wondering what path to take. Now, if I scroll down, I built an interactive decision tool into this form. So if we were to want to apply calculations to a measure, And what type of calculation? I want to do a comparison between these two and just a few specific calculations. And Excel is not required, Power BI only. Well, there we go. It gives you a final answer for that. And there's a lot of trees that go down for the decision tree on this to help you figure out if you can use both, if you should use one or the other. So it does help you make a decision on potentially, given some of these scenarios, which you might want to do to explore one of those two as an option. And as I mentioned, they can actually be combined. So you can even choose the what with a field parameter, like I want to show profit, and then I can either choose with a calculation group and the field parameter, the actual, the year to date, the versus prior year. So quite useful to be able to choose all of these items in here as you explore options to combine the two of them. So they can be used beautifully together. But overall, hopefully this little information guide and infographic is useful for you. I enjoyed building it a lot. Again, I'm having some fun doing UI stuff and web development with a lot of this, but I think it should give you a nice rundown and summary of kind of the differences and the similarities between the two of them and maybe help you make more informed decisions. But as always, if you have any comments about this video, questions, suggestions for future videos, comment section down below. Check out some of my related content here in the upper left. Liking, commenting, and subscribing will help my channel grow. And with that being said, I will see you all in my next video.